Syracuse. Today we've got one team trying to prove itself to be among the best in the nation. Another team that is trying to earn an invitation to the upcoming NCAA lacrosse tournament. Hi again, everybody. Dave Cohn along with Dale Drypulcher, and welcome to another Syracuse University lacrosse game right here on the cable station in your area. Today we've got Syracuse with a record of 5-3. They know they'll be in the NCAA tournament. And Rutgers, despite having won 7 of their last 8, having a record of 7-3, really feels, Dale, that they must win today and pull the upset in order to tell everybody they belong in the 12-team field.
Well, that's absolutely true. The teams they have beaten are not that strong. This is the last team on their schedule that if they can beat and pull it off, they can make a credible case for going to the playoffs. So it's a very must-win situation for the Scarlet Knights, Dave.
And it's going to be a very tough game for Rutgers because of an injury to one of their key attackmen. We'll tell you more about that in a couple of minutes. But as you look at Syracuse now, they're coming off the win over Hobart. You look at the scoring totals, compare them to a year ago, and they're noticeably down, much lower. And one reason is simply because they're playing fewer games, but another reason is because the point production is being spread much more evenly amongst all the top players.
Well, we talked about that in the Cornell game. We thought that perhaps they were looking at Todd Curry a little bit too much. And then in the Hobart game, they really came along and, as you said, spread the scoring out. Gordy Mapes was a man who I think had been a little bit lax in his production. In this game against Hobart, he got 4 goals and 2 assists. Here's a nice move, unassisted goal, and Gordy Mapes came alive, and that's the kind of offensive production I think they should expect out of Gordy, and they have gotten the last couple of games. Next, of course, John Zilberti off a little bit from his freshman year, but you see the great job. He snuck around the back, got a nice goal in the game there, 3 goals and 2 assists in the Hobart game. And finally, we've got midfielder Rhett Kavanaugh, the transfer from Army. Watch 13. He went through a pile of Hobart players to put that one in. And, of course, he ended up with 2 goals and 2 assists in that game. Really, I thought, looked good. I think the offense looked a lot more confident in the fact that they can put it in anybody's hands and score.
A word about John Zilberti. Yes, his point production is down, but he's been playing very well of late. And Roy Simmons says if you go back to last season and realize they had Corey out there, they had Nelson, so Zilberti, then a freshman, drew the weakest defensive man. But now things have changed. He's a marked man, and he had the early season ailment and the blood problem that slowed him down physically as well. But he appears to be back and in good shape. Now let's talk about the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Their key man on the attack, Ed Trabolsi, a senior out of Yorktown Heights, New York, injured. He has a bruised quadricep muscle, perhaps some internal bleeding. May not play, definitely won't start.
Well, definitely an offensive leader for them. Every time Rutgers has played Syracuse, Trabolsi, we've always called his name. He does a super job for him, but he's out. There's nothing you can do about it now. You know, it really does put some pressure on them. They have to come back if they want to make the playoffs. They got to do it now without one of their top guns.
A couple of weeks ago, we saw what a hot goaltender could do, Paul Schmoller of Cornell. And here's the hopes for Rutgers, Jim Gilman in the goal.
Now, he's given up 6.5 per game, but as I said, we alluded to, they have not played. They played a couple of good teams, don't get me wrong, but some of the teams they have beat have not been that strong. He'll get a real test today, especially with the Syracuse offense. I think gaining confidence, Gilman is going to be tested and tested often.
And so we'll be back with the starting lineups and the opening face-off, Rutgers and Syracuse, coming up next right here.
All right, the week's over. Yeah, and the weekend's just beginning.
Come on, we'll show you how a good time goes. We're going to a place where they talk Strohs. 'Cause a good time's better with a good time beer. And Strohs is smoking here.
Here's how the good times get better. Strohs and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs. A convenient package at a special value. Get them wherever you buy your beer.
Strohs is smoking here.
Brooks Robinson here for All-Star's 5 convenient locations. All-Star is a true automotive discounter where every car is discounted every day. Choose from over 1,500 vehicles, some up to $1,000 below dealer's original cost. See All-Star Dodge in Baltimore, or All-Star Central Dodge in Hagerstown, or All-Star Chrysler Plymouth Dodge in Prince Frederick. Or visit All-Star Chevrolet in Baltimore. Or on the Eastern Shore, All-Star Chevrolet, Chrysler Plymouth Dodge, where just about everybody's credit is good with just $99 down.
A healthy mind and body are our goals at Onondaga Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center. If you're an active person, an injury is always a possibility. Proper evaluation and treatment can enhance your recovery from a sports or work-related injury. Our professional staff of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists can aid the recreational competitor as well as the serious scholastic, collegiate, or professional athlete. The latest in recreational technology is available. If you've suffered an injury or are serious about your health, take advantage of Onondaga Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center.
At Syracuse University, students have the opportunity to compete in any of 20 varsity sports. To all of those programs, the Orange Pack has proved to be a valuable source of encouragement and support. The Orange Pack is a nonprofit athletic fundraising organization at SU. It provides an important resource for recruiting and team assistance. This is Joe Zombathy, Director of the Orange Pack, inviting you to call our office at Manley Fieldhouse for further information.
Now the starting lineups in today's game. First, the attack for Rutgers. Brad Fish out of Fayetteville, 9 goals, 17 assists. Andy DeSico, a freshman, 17 and 9. Marvin Gordon, M.G. Hollingsworth, 1 goal and 2 assists. On the midfield, John Hutton, 7 goals and an assist. Bill Herger, 7 and 4. And Greg Rinaldi, also out of Fayetteville, 21 goals and 2 assists, a total of 23 points. Now the defense for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Rick Lewis is on the left. The big man in the middle is Mark Moreau. And the diminutive 5'7" freshman Tom Riley. And here's the goalie, Jim Gilman of Rutgers. He is stopping 63% of the shots directed at him, allowing only 6.5 goals per game. Jim Gilman, Rutgers goalie for head coach Tom Hayes. Now the Syracuse starting attack. Tom Nelson, 13 goals and 10 assists. Gordy Mapes, the team's leading scorer, 15 goals, 9 assists. John Zilberti, 10 goals and 12 assists. Very balanced scoring on the Syracuse attack. In the midfield, Red Kavanaugh, 9 and 7. Todd Curry, who has the hardest shot on the team, 15 and 6. Pat Donahue, 3 goals and 1 assist, winning 53% of the faceoffs he's involved in. The defense for Syracuse has Dan Pratt, Jim McNamara, and Mike O'Donnell. They were tested by Hobart, but they came out on top. And they will play in front of Syracuse goalie Jim Guyrie, who stopped 51% of his shots, allowing 14 goals per game. Jim Guyrie.
Seen cougars in mountain snow and desert heat. In any climate, they're right at home. But Genesee Beer has only one home. This natural brew is made in one place for consistent taste.
Jenny, you can count on it.
The great outdoors in a glass, Genesee Beer.
Jenny Light's done one of the few things that nobody else has been able to do and leave the taste in their light beer. They've taken the calories out and left the taste in. It has a definite well-rounded taste to it.
The Sheridan University Inn, located on the campus of Syracuse University, should be your headquarters when visiting Central New York. Warm hospitality awaits you. The service that has earned us the prestigious American Automobile Association 4 Diamond Award is evident throughout. From a relaxing indoor pool and health club to the upbeat tempo of a Regatta Sporting Tavern. Stay with the best. The Sheridan University Inn, 2 blocks from the Carrier Dome and close to downtown Syracuse. For reservations, call 315-475-3000. Syracuse and Rutgers getting set to meet here for the 23rd time in their lacrosse rivalry. Syracuse has dominated the series, winning it 18 times, and Rutgers has 4 wins. A rather small crowd on hand today. Another gorgeous day in Syracuse, and that has actually hurt attendance throughout the 1987 season. A coaching matchup in today's game. Roy Simmons for the Orangemen. There's Tom Hayes. Looks like he's dropped a few pounds. Tom Hayes of the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. And Roy Simmons shed his baseball cap a couple of games ago. Now we're getting set for the face-off at midfield. It will be Pat Donahue facing off for Syracuse. And we'll await the Rutgers face-off man, Lou Fusilli, who has 2 goals and an assist on the year, will face for Rutgers. At the bottom of the screen, Todd Curry matched up with Greg Rinaldi. And here we go. Walt Munzie, Al Blau, Nate Footer, the officials. Munzie places it down. We're underway. Down on the carpet is Donahue, and it is Rhett Kavanaugh scooping it up. Quickly into the attack. A shot and a save made by Jim Gilman. Syracuse scored twice in the opening minute against Hobart and never trailed in their last outing. Rutgers coming off a loss against Army that dropped them from number 10 in the rankings out of the top 15. Loose play, and the ball is scooped up now by M.G. Hollingsworth, number 19. Going down to Brad Fish. Fish drawing Dan Pratt defensively. Jim Guyrie in the cage, and the centering pass hit the back of the cage. Syracuse will get it. It was not a shot.
He was looking for Rinaldi and not able to get that pass through there to Greg Rinaldi. The one of the local kids on the Rutgers roster. And you'll see number 8 make a cut toward the goal. And there's the pass from Fish, and it hit the crossbar off of Rutgers, so Syracuse will now clear.
Jim Gyrey walking it up. No pressure at all by Rutgers. They have retreated to the midfield stripe. O'Donnell is to the near side. And a very deliberate walk by Gyrey. Now it's in the stick of O'Donnell. A little chess game. Brett Kavanaugh has it and heads toward the middle. Played loosely by Tom Riley, who is a senior. I call him a freshman in the pregame lineups. Gordy Mapes, now Syracuse's leading scorer, drawing pressure from Mark Moreau. Outside and now on the stick of the Gaits. Outside to Curry, took his eye off it, now has to go back to regain possession. No scorer in the opening minute and a half of the game. Paul Gait is on, number 39 for Syracuse. His brother Gary wears number 38. And it's checked away from Gordy Mapes, taken away by Lewis. Here comes Gilman along the sideline, dumping it ahead for Riley, who can't play it out of bounds. And in pursuit in the corner, Scarlet Knights, and the ball will belong back to the Orangemen.
You know, I think Moreau, 34, was the guy who knocked the ball out, but he's been playing very aggressively. He's a 6'4", 215. We'll see the final shot here. There you go, as you turn and the ball out of the stick cleanly off of Rutgers. But Rutgers playing aggressive defense down in their end. Syracuse not able to cash in, got a shot off. They are playing, well, they were playing zone at the midfield and the man downfield. We'll see if they change that up.
As we said, Syracuse has dominated the series, particularly of late. Chris Rossi now, number 21. Has good legs under him as he gives it up to Curry. Maybe in position for a shot, but he's ridden off the play. Now Tom Nelson will deal out of the corner. They clear out for him. Working one-on-one. Nelson beats his defender, gets back in position. Here's a hard shot coming in a score. Took something off it, did Peter Allen. I anticipated a hard shot, but Peter Allen finessed it into the lower corner, and Syracuse leads it 1-0.
Thought they might jump there. They didn't, but the defense got caught in between two people, and Allen was all by himself, not able to even get a stick on it, the closest Rutgers defender, and you see the result right there. With 12:29 left in the first quarter. The first goal is scored in this game.
Peter Allen has his 5th goal of the year. Hasn't had an assist yet. And a long battle for the ball. Finally, it's taken away out of there by the defenseman, Rick Lewis. Now Moreau mishandling it. Nelson comes over to bother him, and it's redirected to Gilman. In the middle they go. Pressure there against Rinaldi. He's got a man streaking in midfield, but he can't get it to him. So here's Rinaldi now giving it up nicely, and a shot to score. Very nicely done by Greg Rinaldi, resulting in the goal by John Hutton. And this game is tied at 1-1, 3 minutes in.
Hutton with that knee brace on the right knee did a nice job of getting free. And he evened it up rather quickly for the Scarlet Knights. And they're right back into it. 1 up, 12:03 left.
Hutton was that man streaking in midfield that I talked about. And Rinaldi could not spot him early, but he found him late, and it paid off. 1-1 tie. O'Donohue again on the faceoff. And it's raked out of there and taken away by Lewis. Now ahead it goes to Rinaldi, splitting the defense.
Rinaldi showing good speed, Dave.
Got it back to Brad Fish. 2 local players, Fish and Rinaldi. Now they go way outside again. This is John Hutton, who just had the goal. Moving on Donahue. Backs it off and gives to Rinaldi. Moving in close for a screen shot. And there's Gyrey, who had his eye on it all the way. Hollingsworth with a little bit of pressure. And now O'Donnell will bring it up for Syracuse. In the middle, he overshot Todd Curry, but fortunately Kavanaugh scoops it up. Bill Herger stride for stride with him. It's Kavanaugh switching hands, dealing in close. Gordy Mapes ridden off the play. Back to Kavanaugh. Paul Gait has come on as well. setting screens in front. Here's a feed in close, and Zilberti beautifully lost his man and came in for the 1-foot shot, beating Jim Gilman. It's 2-1 Syracuse.
You can tell they worked on that in practice because Zilberti was being checked the whole way by Kavanaugh. Watch Kavanaugh looking to see who's going to make it. There's the pass and shot off and in. So Kavanaugh gets an assist, and Zilberti comes up with a goal. 2-1 now. But a very pretty play and a nice-looking assist for Kavanaugh. Now we're going to get a procedure against Rutgers, number 33, who was facing off for Rutgers. That's Vasily. He was the first face-off man who detected doing something there. Couldn't see. At any rate, it will cost Rutgers the ball, and you'll see the lack of success Rutgers has had against SU. It's been 32 years. Shot saved by Gilman. Lots of sticks flying on the crease.
And it's still loose behind. It's run down by Rossi. He's double-teamed and tried to give it up. For Nelson, the goalie's out of the cage, and Rutgers going to get it.
Taking quite a risk there. Luckily for Rutgers, the ball went out of bounds, but Gilman was back playing defense, and the ball was off of Nelson's stick. Rutgers will have an opportunity to clear, and the man who will pick up the ball is number 9, Jim Gilman, the junior out of Yorktown, a school that puts out a lot of players. Syracuse, a number on their roster, and most of the schools in the East sporting people from Yorktown.
Yorktown is north of New York City, and they've had quite a rivalry over the years with West Genesee, the top feeder school for Syracuse. Now it's John Hutton again. Chris Bird is trying to poke check the ball out of his stick. So Hutton reverses his field, gives it off again to Rinaldi. Rinaldi, only a freshman from right here in Fayetteville. Knocked away and nearly stolen away by Chris Bird, who had a running start, and a hold is called. So the ball will stay in the possession of the Scarlet Knights, who want a timeout with 10 minutes and 3 seconds to go. First quarter, and Syracuse leads it 2-1.
Look fast, because the hands on this watch are about to disappear. Now, look again. And they're back. Why do these hands disappear? Because they're not really hands at all. They're actually electronic pulses of light. Introducing the amazing laser beam wristwatch. Destined to become a legend in its own time, we believe it will soon be one of the most sought-after watches in history. However, as part of a special publicity campaign, we will send you one of these amazing new laser beam luxury watches. Not for the hundreds of dollars you might expect, but for only $10. But to get your amazing laser beam wristwatch for only $10, you must act now. If you call within the next 30 minutes, you can order a second laser beam watch for only $5, just half price.
To order, call 1-800-241-2000. That's 1-800-241-2000.
Here's how they rank in the U.S. Intercollegiate Lacrosse Association rankings, and they are official rankings, unlike other sports. Syracuse comes in number 4, and Rutgers was number 10. They lost to Army, and they're now out of the top 15. 12 teams this year will go to the NCAA Division I tournament, which is now using a best Final Four tournament. So you've got to play twice within 3 days.
That is a difficult assignment in any sport, and almost especially lacrosse. You have a lot more bumps and bruises after a game than you do in a lot of other sports. There was a bad pass there by Rutgers. Syracuse had the ball. Now they've got it up to Kavanaugh, 13.
And Kavanaugh goes down in the corner to Tom Nelson. Nelson moving against Pat Dawson. You're allowed to lean on your man like that. Nelson gives it up to Curry. Very deliberate offense being used by Syracuse. Here's Paul Gaits. They like to isolate Gaits and let him work with a lot of field. Gordy Mapes now against Mark Moreau. And Moreau timed it perfectly. And they bat it out of there. Moreau is in pursuit. He's going to come across. Blocked, however, off of McNamara and regained by Rutgers.
McNamara still after the ball. He did a nice job of getting that ball down. A little sloppy. Should be a push.
And it's shoveled ahead by Gordy Mapes. He sensed he was falling and had the presence of mind to get it ahead. Tom Hayes, very animated coach on the sideline.
See the ball on the ground, and there's the push of 2. Take your pick.
I think it was the first push that drew the whistle. Now Paul Gaits.
Syracuse running that little exchange behind.
Zilberti spots the open man. Tough angle, but it's there. What a shot by Todd Curry. He just broke to the spot, got the pass, had the tough angle for the shot, and he drilled it home.
Watch how long the ball stays in his stick. Only about a third of a second it appeared, and he really did pin him right up against that bar and hit the only place he could. So Todd Curry pins Gilman and gets the third goal for Syracuse with 8:53 left in the first quarter. And that didn't look too hard. And they've been getting nice assists from behind the cage, Dave. Nice passes.
16th goal of the year by Todd Curry. That is the most on the team. And a takedown from behind.
That'll be 30 seconds.
Rutgers will get the ball back. Syracuse using more men. Kirk Pratt was on the field there. Gary Gait coming off now.
This will be Rutgers' first man-up opportunity. You see Syracuse huddled over there. I think they're want to make sure that this man-down team does exactly what they want to do and play the best defense they can. They are down a man for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Pushing.
Now Rutgers working it, looking for that opportunity, the crack in the Syracuse defense, if there is one. Hutton dealing off the point. Hutton's going to get it back. He goes to the near side to Todd Drost, who gets it back. Behind the cage, it's Brad Fish. There's Drost again. They take away his shot. Hutton. Now the teams are all even again, and there's a shot deflected by Gary in close. And Rutgers will keep it.
As I look at the stats, Syracuse has given up out of 60 extra mans. They've given up 20 goals. That's about average. It's not too bad, but I'm sure they would like to continue the success they've had in years past. They've had teams down around 20%, or 1 out of 5.
Bill Herger with it now, and Chris Burt likes to use that poke check. Outside Rinaldi, Scaramuzino is on to play him. Number 7 is Matt Walsh. And the ball now is Andy DeSico. He feeds Rinaldi, and somebody deflected that shot as he took it. Rutgers will keep it again.
I think Scaramuzino right there at 19 got a stick up as they successfully defended that man down.
Andy DeSico, the freshman, number 20. Mike O'Donnell's on him. Brad Fish popped out. Rinaldi's open in front. Herger as Hutton cuts to the net. Herger against Burt. This is an isolation. Now he gives it up. And it's Rinaldi. Sending back to Fish. Brad Fish against Dan Pratt.
Syracuse playing good defense. You can see they've got all the cutters covered from the crease, and that's why.
What's that call there?
Maybe a slash, I don't know, or a ward. That's a ward. Absolutely.
So the battle of Tully's Dan Pratt and Fayetteville Manlius' Brad Fish results in an offensive infraction. Watch it again.
Let's see if he doesn't bring the arm up and move the stick. If you move the stick at all, that's a ward, and that's exactly what he did. Incidentally, you've got to give Syracuse defense credit. They did a very nice job on that last series, or that last thrust at the goal by Rutgers, by playing good defense, keeping all the cutters covered.
Syracuse releasing Gary Gait. He comes across now.
Nice move.
And that's his patented move, coming right in and scoring. The brothers Gait, a week ago, took 4 shots between them, and they had 4 goals. They have now hit 5 consecutive goals on 5 consecutive shots.
Well, the Gait guys from Canada, you see number 38 put it in. That's Gary Gait. One of the things that they've mentioned is that they had to make a big change. In Canada, where they're from, they generally play in the box. And you don't really have to develop 2 hands. And they both are basically left-handed players. They had an article in the paper about it. Said they're having a little bit of difficulty trying to make that right hand come around, but they're working on it. Didn't need it there. He went the whole way and put that left-handed shot right past Gilman.
What they are both very adept at doing, Dale, is coming right off the bench, getting that head of steam, getting the pass, and then it's awfully tough to get their way when they're running that hard to the goal. Good job as Lewis knocked it away from Kavanaugh, Kavanaugh fed it back to Curry somehow. And now Nelson. Looking for Gordy Mapes back there. Instead, he'll send it back out to Todd Curry. Across he goes to Pat Donahue. Donahue changing directions. Very disciplined Syracuse offense. Not too many long shots. And a good save by Gilman against Zilberti.
And Zilberti right after him playing defense, playing both ends of the field.
And Zilberti about the quickest Orangeman on the goalie. Now they go to Lewis. They'll kill off some time as Gilman gets back in the vicinity of his cage. Zilberti taking the run at him.
Challenging. Rutgers had a change on the fly. They were short a few people. Gilman and Zilberti have been pushing each other around.
Maybe too many men on the field.
Could be. We'll have to see. I think it was a push. I think one of the things that here it is right here. There's the push right there. But I'll tell you what, that's just in retaliation for one that Gilman gave him before. So 11 and 9 squaring off early here, and now they're going to be matched up again, at least momentarily.
And a good quick move, but it's intercepted by Burt. Dribbles it once, loses it on the ground, and scooped up again by Rutgers' Doug Beeler.
Beeler's in a lot of trouble. He drew a lot of attention.
Knocked back to Morrow. He's got to get help from his goalie. Instead, he sends it to the far side to Lewis. Lewis back to the near side. Chris Wolfing has it. Can't get by Burt. Now he gives it up. And a sandwich job by a couple of big stick Syracuse people. Ball high in the air, and a whistle will stop the play. We await the call of Walt Munsey on the near sideline.
Illegal check, cost them a minute. And they came up high. Syracuse playing a little bit more physical than I have seen them in the past, at least this year. But in that particular case, it was right in front of an official, and it did come up above the shoulders. You can't do that. So there'll be another man-up opportunity for Rutgers, and this will be their second. They are 0 for 1 at this point.
It is a 4-1 Syracuse lead, and here comes Rutgers. Radfish, Hutton getting it now. John Hutton. Drost, and now Hutton again. And Bill Herger. Rutgers looking for that opening again. Here comes Herger. And now it's in the stick of Drost. And it's back to Drost. And Hutton to Herger. Herger on the exchange. And Andy DeSico intercepted nicely by O'Donnell. He sends back to Dan Pratt. Scaramuzino fell down as he was trying to move upfield. Jim Gyrey sticking it.
They'll play catch for a while. They'll run some of that penalty off. We don't know how much time is left, but Gyrey is back in the clear. He doesn't have the ball right now. Pratt has it. He'll give it to Gyrey.
Syracuse has Marty Stadelmeyer on, number 43 at the bottom of the screen. Senior defenseman, seeing early action in this game. And now Gyrey again.
Nice job. They
Todd
really,
Curry, who can play anywhere on this field, is back to help out. A little different look that time. Curry dribbling it and losing it. That's a mistake. And the Orangemen do a good job of taking the shot possibility away from Pat Dawson. Syracuse getting a lot of new people in the game rather early with a 4-1 lead and 3:43 to go in this first quarter.
I believe the penalty has expired.
Chris Badwini has come on, number 22.
That must have expired on the horn. They did a nice job of killing it off, except that last second, Dave, when they had the ball down in front of the goal, got a shot off, but it went wide.
Look behind is what the goalie Jim Gyrey is yelling.
O'Donnell working very well. Number 31 against DeSico. Ball down, knocked out of his stick, and DeSico gave it up, and now Scaramuzino.
Jim Gyrey on one of those weak shots nearly gloved it with the hand, not even on the stick. Now Syracuse making changes, and that's why O'Donnell is walking it up. Paul Gate has come on. That time they marked him coming right off the bench.
Now they've got McNamara right in front of the bench. He's on, and he's open on the clear.
Rossi gets it on the far side as you look at McNamara signaling his teammate to come across. They feed it in the middle to Allen. Feed it in close. Too many moves there by Gordy Mapes, and he lost the ball as he was faking and stepped into the crease at the same time.
Gordy Mapes, the man we featured at the top of the show, who really broke into the scoring column. Not broke in, he's been there, but really unleashed what he is capable of. And on that particular one, as you said, Dave, maybe a couple too many moves, but the Rutgers will retain possession. 2:44 left in the first period. And right now they're shouting too many men on the field as Gordy Mapes just gets off. Let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yep, that's right. Start the game 2-2.
Well, you heard that one. Roy Simmons said you didn't give him a chance to get off the field.
Okay, he said they had a horn. He didn't give us time. Well, this is good because in lacrosse you can kind of barter. Let's see if they do that.
Walt Munsey, the official there, was one of the 3 officials who worked the Cornell game when Cornell clearly had an 11th man on the field and scored a goal. Cornell coach Richie Moran ran on the field, had a few other players accompanying him to try to camouflage that 11th player, and the goal was allowed to stand. It was not a consequential goal because Cornell won it 19-6. But Moran did admit afterwards he was sorry for that extra man.
but not enough to give the goal up.
Right here, it's 4-1.
Gyrie out of the cage, by the way, playing defense. That means somewhere on the field they might be able to double somebody. Long pass. That's the kind of thing you can do. Those guys got those 72-inch sticks. Is if you can pressure them to make the long pass, and they did put pressure on Morrow, and he did make the long pass. It was too high. Syracuse gets the ball as a result. And, people don't realize how difficult it is to take a 72-inch stick with a little web on the end of it and try to run and pass and catch all the time going full speed. It's very difficult.
Now Rhett Kavanaugh back up top to Pat Donahue. Curry works it down to Mapes. Gordy Mapes.
One-on-one.
Feisty little player, and he beats the defense, scores the goal, and there's a penalty on the play as well. And Syracuse jumps to a 5-1 lead on Rutgers.
That was just a one-on-one. Rick Lewis, 35, doesn't have much of a chance. Watch what happens. He's going to get out and put the stick up. But Zilberti just goes by him, and he was holding him, but Zilberti really made a nice move, and not especially big, but he made a strong move to the cage and put it in Syracuse's 5th goal.
So it is Zilberti getting the goal, not Mapes. And for Zilberti, his 2nd goal of the game. Little movement beforehand, that's a violation, and Syracuse will win the faceoff.
Winding down to the end of this first period, move out front.
We've got 1:50 to go. It's been all Syracuse, 5-1. Pat Donahue wins the face, spots Curry. Goes to the right hand for the pass. Nelson. Nelson on the hesitation. And he's called for the ward against Mark Moreau.
He's talking to the official, but they saw the ward, and number 34, Moreau, was tight. And to get him off, perhaps, the right hand comes up. Let's see if we see that. There it is. Yeah, he put it down there and move the stick. If you move the stick, it's kind of obvious, at least for the official to see. And that will lose possession for Syracuse.
Al Gilman spotting a man upfield. He's going to race it across. It's Rinaldi. Changing back on Chris Badwini. John Hutton cuts right. M.G. Hollingsworth, number 19, against Jim McNamara, number 18. Not a heck of a lot of finesse in the Rutgers attack.
Hutton with the ball. Now he's going to get rid of it. And he gives it off to Herger, who's out with Burt, up way on top, about 20 yards out.
And here's Herger with a pass in the pack. Rebound Hutton, it's wide, but Rutgers will keep it. John Hutton, who has the only Rutgers goal. Radfish.
Scores award.
Yes, it is. Third one of his first quarter. And Syracuse sends on both Gary and Paul Gait now, as well as number 1, Owens. Keith Owens.
He's got good speed. He's a transfer, Nassau Community College. Played on their national championship team, transferred. This is his junior year. Plays in spots. I'm sure they're looking to get more time out of him as they go along the playoffs, and we have seen a lot more of him in this part of the season. High pass to him.
Intended for Owens over his head. He made a good attempt to leap high and bring it down. Rutgers with a break now. They overshoot Fish. Intercepted short of the goal by Pratt. He starts the transition quickly. It's on the floor, and it's picked up for Syracuse. But they lose it off the stick of Greg Burns. Regained by O'Donnell. He'll fire at the buzzer. Right on net. That should go to shot on goal. Intercepted by Lewis. And the end of the first quarter here in the Dome with the score. Syracuse 5 and Rutgers 1.
Fire brewing. It's more than a way to make Stroh's and Stroh Light. It's a family tradition, passed down from one generation to another for over 200 years. It's what guarantees that smooth, consistent taste for generations to come.
A good time's better with a good time beer. Stroh's is smoking here. Stroh's is smoking here.
The Chicago White Sox visit Memorial Stadium Friday night to start a 3-game weekend series with the O's. Tune into Home Team Sports for all 3 games Friday at 8 o'clock, Saturday at 7:30, and Sunday at 2, right here on Home Team Sports.
We're going to take a look at Syracuse's last goal, and Zilberti just split the defense.
Now, Rick Lewis, 35, was trying to stop and took his head off with a hold, but he could not stop Zilberti's strong move, and that gives Syracuse now a 5-1 lead. There's some stats for you. That should be Rutgers up there, but Syracuse shots, Syracuse getting off a little bit more, ground balls fairly even. Dave, you and I mentioned as we start the second quarter out, we'll see what happens here in a second.
Here's an opportunity for Rutgers. They overpass the ball. It's intercepted by Kavanaugh. He hears the footsteps, but he gets away. Oh, he was blindsided.
Heck of a shot there by DeSico.
And Kavanaugh got up and got his number. So we'll keep an eye on Kavanaugh.
I'm sure he said, I've been hit harder. That definitely was the blindside. And, you know, if you were playing on dirt, you could probably hear those footsteps, but you don't hear them here. And at least Kavanaugh didn't, and he was the beneficiary of a nice hit.
I did not see any flag thrown, but Walt Muncy stopped play.
Well,
and Tom Hayes is giving him an earful.
First of all, it was actually unnecessary, so you can always call that. It definitely was unnecessary. Look at this. Wow. Well, now he doesn't have the ball. Well, I mean, he has the ball, but it's not really necessary to hit him that hard. He could have taken the ball out of the stick.
And it wasn't only with the body, but the heads collided as well, too. And Kavanaugh was quick to get up and get the license plate.
I was just going to say before that point that this had been kind of a methodical day at the office type game.
Right.
I'm glad I didn't, because it certainly changed right there. We may see some paybacks.
Right about now, let's get physical. Olivia Newton-John record might be appropriate.
That's
we'll
right.
see what happens. 40 mates. Syracuse going right to left this quarter, leading 5-1.
They are man up.
Paul Gait is on. Gordy Mapes feeding the crease for Zilberti. It's taken away by Pat Dawson. Up ahead and overshot. And who's got it? Right on the sideline. Rutgers.
You know, you look at the man up situations. Syracuse has had 43 this year to 60 for their opponents. So they have had 17 less man up opportunities. That's kind of a large number, and it does, on occasion, can put you behind the 8 ball. Syracuse still man up. They're going to double the guy with the ball. That's number 8, Rinaldi.
And Rinaldi gives it up nicely to Herger. Herger runs it in the box, feeds right in front. He fanned on the shot. Hutton did. Syracuse comes away with it. Good legs by O'Donnell. And he dumps it off just in time to Burt. Feeds the middle. Badwini sees nobody. Comes in. Low shot. It's just wide. Very good effort by Chris Badwini.
That was a good effort. He got a nice left-handed crank shot to the wide side as he looked at Gilman, but it was not on. And Syracuse, however, will retain possession. You know, I don't really think on that rush at the cage before that they had control. Rutgers did not really have control of the ball, and then when it went down, Syracuse did a nice job of getting it back up. They're even now.
Rutgers has had a number of missed opportunities, golden opportunities, right in close.
There's a slash or a hold.
Kavanaugh feeding Donahue. They'll look for a good shot. Still alive as Nelson goes to his knees, and Gilman makes the save. The official on the far side, Nate Foote, threw everything. His flag, his hat. I don't know what would have gone next.
Yeah, maybe a shoe. They got a hold. Technical. They got a slash. Rutgers could be 2 men down. Coach probably not too pleased. There's the there's the hold. Let me just check your helmet size here with my stick.
Now they what? 2 men down?
Yes. Now they just got 1 man in. Shot. That'll make it a moot point.
As it was cranked home by the cannonball, Todd Curry. And it's a 6-1 game as Syracuse scores for the first time here in the second quarter, and here's the cannon shot.
Well, you see, watch at the last minute, he clears through. I believe it was it Kavanaugh? No, excuse me, it was Zilberti. Stood in front of the goalie, cleared through, and then let Curry take that cannon shot. 6-1, 13:24 left.
His shot is such a heavy shot, too.
He really, and he can get it off in the most awkward positions and still get a lot of zip on it.
On the faceoff now, Bill Durgill in for Syracuse.
Kicking the ball ahead.
And out of this scrum, who's got it? Somebody has it, doesn't even know it. They're really hacking away in there.
Lots of aluminum and wood. Ooh, boy, you don't want to be in there.
Oh, the bodies are flying now. Down in that scrum with Chris Wolfing.
As I said, you might get some paybacks, and there's one right there. I believe that was McNamara doing some heavy hitting.
Well, he was quoted in the paper saying that he would like to play a little bit more physical. And
he also said he'd like to do a nice clean hit. But that's what happens when you get that ball on the ground. And as I said, Syracuse may be looking to pay back a little bit. Right now, they'll be down a man.
Andy DeSico, who leveled Brett Kavanaugh earlier. He's number 20, DeSico. Going outside to Herger, and they swing it across now. Rutgers feeding the crease for DeSico. It's intercepted and deflected by Scaramuzino.
They really kind of forced that. DeSico was open on the crease, but just for a fraction of a second. By the time the ball got there, they'd collapsed 2 defenders on him, and he got a stick on it, but the ball went out of bounds. Syracuse will clear. Man down, we may see some doubling of the ball.
And they bring Curry back there to help out again. He's capable of legging it all the way upfield himself.
They may just clear out for him, and now watch, they're all going to collapse. Oh, ball down, taken away from him by number 31.
That's
Boston.
the second time that's happened in the game. On the ground, right in front, Rinaldi has it swiped away, and Burt sticks it ahead for Kavanaugh. In the middle against 3 red shirts. Kavanaugh doing a little disappearing act.
Nice job by Kavanaugh. Now they just redirected, get ready to set up again. But that ball was down and out and over and under through that whole section. Syracuse lucky to come up with it.
Once again, here comes Curry, now to Donahue. May send it back. He does. Curry stops on a dime, gets it across to Kavanaugh. And the midfield comes across. Kavanaugh. Feeding Nelson, intended for Mapes. It's loose on the ground. Still loose. And taken away by Morrow. Mark Morrow.
He's got good speed.
He does for a big defenseman. Changes directions well also. To this side he goes now. Pat Tevlin.
Once you see Tevlin's got that big stick, he'll want to get off and change and get somebody with a smaller stick.
Now Rinaldi heads toward the goal. Over the top goes Donahue.
That wasn't close. That'll be a hole. So Syracuse will be down again, and a man-up situation is now up to 4. This will be the 4th. Watch over the head. Not even close there. Right in front of the official. There's Coach Simmons without the hat.
You make a point of that, Dale.
It seems he got rid of that, and they seem to feel maybe that was lucky.
Intercepted, and out of the cage comes Kyrie to play it. The net is open. DeSico tried to feed it up top, and there's another case of Rutgers failing not only to cash in, but even to get a good attempt.
You know what? Pratt filled in the goal when Gyrie was out. Gyrie was out to the side, and as a defenseman or anybody who's the guy who's got to be in there, you got to hope, geez, I hope that ball goes out of bounds. I don't want to have to be in here when they take a shot. One, you've got a small stick with a small head, and you really know you're probably just going to end up taking it in the body. Right now,
11 minutes to go in this second quarter.
They're going to put pressure on the Syracuse clear.
Gyrie has it.
Midfielder's going to have to come back down and help him.
And it's Gyrie again.
They're even now, or will be shortly.
Now McNamara. DeSico taking a run at him from behind. He gave it up in time to Kavanaugh. Rinaldi trying to hustle back. Zilberti returning it in traffic. Kavanaugh spins free. And the Orange men will keep the ball as Gordy Mapes was closest to it as it went out of bounds.
That was a nice shot gotten off. Once again, one of the things you'll notice, and one of the things you'll notice especially about Kavanaugh, is the ability to get that shot off, a hard shot, when you really don't have time to crank up and set yourself. Zilberti, one-on-one with Lewis.
And 10.5 minutes to go. Pick set by Nelson, a good one too. And the shot was deflected. Mapes is going to be nearest to it, and so Syracuse will keep it again. Tom Nelson with an assist on an earlier goal. And he has now tied Tom Curry for 5th on the all-time assist list with 74. Next ahead for him is Brad Kotz. Mapes lost the ball and the stick, and Gilman's on the run. Gilman's going to stop short of the midfield now, bring it across.
To make sure they were onside.
And DeSico uses the pick by Gilman. He's going to try to kill some time to allow Gilman to get back in the cage. Dawson finally scoops it up.
You know, the guy who made that play, Riley, was the guy that checked that stick out, did a great job for Rutgers. Then, of course, the goalie, Gilman, got it all the way down, and now they're going to try to get the right players on.
And they feed the oncoming Doug Beeler, number 21. Marker is down. It's going to go against Syracuse. Spin move being made by Wolfing. And again, it's Fish. Now they'll stop the play.
This will be the 5th man-up opportunity for Rutgers. Syracuse has had 3. They are 1 of 3. Rutgers 0 for 4 at this point.
By the way, if you've just joined us, Rutgers' top attack man, Ed Trabolsi, not playing, and at the very moment, not even fully dressed on the sideline.
That must be some muscle pull in the quadricep or in the back of the leg.
He heard it in the Army game. He says he doesn't know exactly when, and he continued to play the rest of the game, which could lead to some internal bleeding, according to medical people. No black and blue mark evident on the skin there of the quadricep of Ed Trabolsi. 9 minutes to go. Rutgers with only 1 goal. They trail at 6-1. Brad Fish feeding the crease and a quick stick goal. Greg Rinaldi. lightning quick.
Really nice quick stick feed from behind, and he just batted it right in. Didn't even get a chance to cradle it. Nice positioning by Rinaldi.
Rutgers goal scored by number 8, Frank Rinaldi.
And a nice assist
Number 4,
from Fish. So the two local kids team up.
Rinaldi. The assist for Fish. And the score is Syracuse 6 and Rutgers 2.
On the face, Bianchi, Rich Bianchi in there against Pat Donahue. Something about a hold being said. And Rutgers is going to get it. So the Scarlet Knights have scored 1 goal in each quarter, and they trail it now 6-2.
Unofficially face-offs 6 for Rutgers, 4 for Syracuse at this point. You notice they put that arm up. Well, we've seen a couple, 3 holds, I believe. They get, if you're right-handed, they'll get that left arm up and try to keep, oh, nice move.
Great effort in there. And the ball back in the stick of Gyrey.
Gyrey, look, he really is out of the goal, does a great job of looking for his outlet people.
Matt Walsh, number 7, made that fine athletic move to get the shot on Gyrey. Syracuse changing men now. As is Rutgers. Pat Donahue comes on, beats his man off the bench. They haven't spotted him yet. Greg Burns, number 14. Second shift in this game. Signals for somebody to come his way. Now it's Curry.
Curry takes it way out on top.
And then Curry beats his man to a spot using the screen, and he scores. Todd Curry, a low, hard screen shot, going left and shooting back right. And now Syracuse leads it 7-2 as Curry gets his 3rd goal.
Well, you called that exactly right. He was way up on top, and watch the screen fill in. There it is, and right in front of Gilman, and Curry gets the shot off, and it skips by Gilman, and that was precisely what they wanted to do, was screen Gilman's vision and put it by him, and they did on the left side.
18th goal of the year by Todd Curry. By the way, his career high goals in a game is 5, and he's done that twice. Syracuse up 7-2. Pat Donahue had a chance to feed the cutting Curry. Now outside, it is Rhett Kavanaugh.
He's been playing very well.
He cracked one. Syracuse will keep it. Paul Gaits, number 39, comes on. Easy to tell the two twins apart today, at least, because Paul is wearing orange high tops and Gary is with a more conservative white. In traffic, they fed Nelson, and he had it knocked away. Here comes Gilman. Gilman's got good speed. He's going to be a tired man when this game is over. He may take a shot on net. He does, and a save is made by Gary.
Fans wanting to
He's
see
got
the
a
ball
long
beat
way
him
to go.
down there.
Got a long way to go to get back in the cage. Kavanaugh 1 against 4, gives it up. Intercepted, though, by Rutgers. And here's a break for the Knights. Dawson has it knocked away.
O'Donnell got a stick on him.
O'Donnell sends to Gyrey. Gyrey to Stadelmeyer. And now here comes Curry. And a shot by Matt Walsh, resulting in a slash and a flag. When's the last time you saw a goalie score a goal?
You know, a couple times in that, we've seen that 10-man defense where the goalie will come out and play, and if a good goalie, he'll kind of fake and look around, all of a sudden take the real long shot. I've seen that happen.
Syracuse has taken a timeout. We'll continue that thought as we saw Gilman go the length of the field and put a legitimate shot on the Syracuse goalie, Jim Gyrey.
We'll see what happens. Of course, you know, that's really demoralizing. It happened to me a couple times in high school. It really is kind of demoralizing when the goalie scores on you. He gets a decent shot. Gyrey does control the rebound. See it right between his legs. He later went down and got a stick on it, and, of course, he had to hot foot it back up the field because he knew that if Gyrey got the ball cleanly, he'd look up, and he's a real master at getting the ball. He's talking to Matt Palem there, Dave. Freshman goalie who actually started a couple of games before he hurt his knee, and he has been out, and Gyrey got back in.
And he'll be out at least 2 more weeks with a sprained knee. Jim Gyrey getting his 2nd straight start. Last game we saw Joey Ryan come in to begin the second half. They're enjoying quite a joke.
I think they're talking about the goalie, that Gilman coming down, because it's every goalie's real goal to see if they can't score. Do enough to stop them. Let's see if I can't get out and take a shot on my opposing number. There's the man who took it, Gilman. Got a breather, and he should be tired.
He's been doing a lot of running. We've got 6:57 to play in this second quarter. And Syracuse leads it 7-2, 5-1 after one. Rutgers with a goal here, but Syracuse answering with 2 of their own, and they lead it 7-2. Quickly, they put it in play. Each team has scored once in the man-up situations. Todd Curry has 3 goals. Zilberti in traffic. That's a pass. And that's a shot, and the rebound belongs to Lewis. They take it away from him. Mapes up top. Curry. Yes. Number 4 for Todd Curry.
They're looking for interference, but there were 2 guys in the goal, and only the goalie with the stick is the guy who's the designated goalie. So they went after Lewis's stick, got the ball back. At least that's the way the officials saw it. So nice job by Syracuse, and Curry pops in another. You know, we did say at the top of the show, we were talking about, especially against Cornell, you see the power in his shot. But the idea was they were looking a little bit too much to Curry. He took a lot of shots in that Cornell game, and then they came back against Hobart, did a nice job of distributing the ball. Now there's a face-off, sort of, in the middle of the field.
Wow. Crab-like, somebody finally swatted it out of there.
Vasily, 33, was at it. That would be a face-off. They could not tell where the ball went, if it was off a red or a white stick, so I believe they called a face over in that side of the field.
Let's see, will they match up the same 2 or bring it back to midfield?
They should reface it right where it was.
After that excitement, we'll have a do-over.
Yeah. You guys liked it so much before, do it again.
This is not a replay. Be hard to match the duration of that last face-off.
Vasily and Donahue.
Here they go. 1.
See the ball right
2,
down there between them. It's between the legs of Vasily.
4 seconds. Rug time.
Yeah.
Curry right over Fuseli. What's the call?
Push. Rutgers ball.
Six minutes, 12 seconds to play first half in an 8-2 game. Really a do-or-die situation for Rutgers and their tournament hopes. Rinaldi giving it up now on the far side.
Syracuse
has it. Outside it's Hutton.
34, I'm just going to say 34. I think Persing is in the game. One of the recruits from Maryland who's a freshman this year.
Perry Hall, Maryland, Calvert Hall High School. And Persing has it now, number 34. Legging it downfield. Even with the cage of Zilberti. Our fans watching on Home Team Sports may know the name of Persing. Syracuse trying to do more recruiting nowadays in the Baltimore area. Here's Curry, and it's blocked by Gilman. Rebound taken by Greg Burns. Kicked back out to Kavanaugh. Scoops it off the carpet beautifully. Stops on the dime. Changes directions. Looks to give it up. Zilberti. There's a cutter. It was Curry.
Take it right back out up on top. You can see all the screening on the crease.
Trying to go by Lewis. He does. Weak shot, but it's really a pass. And they overpass that ball. It's out to midfield. There's the vacuum cleaner, Kavanaugh again.
Boy, he has been a vacuum cleaner, Dave. He's been playing very well at the midfield the last 3 or 4 games. And Curry's just going to take that on that long
here's
sweep.
Kavanaugh, or rather Curry, giving up. That's a pass. Gilman does a good job of holding off Zilberti, and they're ready to go at it.
Little frustration, I believe, on Gilman's part. He was trying to keep Zilberti from getting to the ball, and what he wanted to do is he thought it was off Syracuse, so he figured he'd just keep Zilberti from getting it to it, but let's see what happens. See, there he goes. Yeah, well, that's after a while it was kind of interference, I think. At any rate,
it's back in play, and it's in the stick of Tom Nelson. Nelson against Morrow.
Ford. That's the
Second
fourth one.
time he's been called, the fourth one we've seen in the game. I think we've seen that more today than all year.
Yep, absolutely. And
well, why do you suppose?
Well, maybe for one thing, this is an official who doesn't always have the Syracuse games. I believe it's Mr. Morrow. That's not to say it exists or it doesn't exist. That always happens. So you get somebody who might just see it a little bit differently. It's really hard to see, and if you don't look for it, sometimes you can kind of get away. But they're there.
Morrow sending it far side. Lewis now to the near side. And Fusilli with Burns from behind. Phil Schluter on now defensively, number 4. Down to 4 minutes to play in the first half. M.G. Hollingsworth, Andy DeSico. Number 42 is Eric Holbrook, a freshman defender out of West Genesee. And DeSico. Good save, Diary. 2 good saves. And stepping in there was Beeler.
Yep. And that'll give him a possession at the midfield line. He must have had the ball in his possession, and he did.
Here it is against DeSico. Watch the first and second save.
That's it. He actually had it in his follow through. Now, when they stepped in there and said that he had possession, so that'll give him a free clear.
And with 3.5 minutes to go, Jim Gyrey watches the action upfield. Only 4 shots directed at him so far by Rutgers. Where is it? He's in the crease. Nelson.
Aha! Gilman out.
Pursuit of Gilman.
The fans yelling for Gilman's head, no doubt.
Rinaldi sending it back to Gilman. Zilberti.
Nice
There they
matchup.
are again. Zilberti and Gilman. Now it's Lewis. And we've got 3 minutes to go.
Kind of a game within a game there with Zilberti and Gilman. Right now they got the ball back to the wing defenseman.
Persing back on the field. And here comes Rinaldi changing directions nicely. Trying to leg it by Persing and Schluter. Backing it off. Berger's open up top. And Hutton tried to go for it. Syracuse comes out of there with a break. If they can control it. They fed Burns right in the middle, and he lost the handle.
Schluter in there playing very well for Syracuse. Got the ball up. Now it's down again. I thought there was a cross check. Yeah.
Gilman really trying to get his breath back.
Send the oxygen card out.
2 minutes and 18 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Andy DeSico gets the 1-minute cross-checking penalty.
Coach Simmons now getting the man up for his team. That's the 5th opportunity they'll be working on.
Todd Curry, who needs 1 goal to tie his career best. He's got 4 goals already. And now Curry has it. Zilberti to Nelson. Out to Zilberti. Rossi, here comes Curry. In the middle, beautiful feed.
Nice job.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched much lacrosse before, that is what this game is all about. The passing, artistry, and the shot making.
Well, watch Nelson. First of all, it's a nice pass, but Nelson turns high. Nope. Low. Perfect. Just a real, as you said, Dave, a classic example of what lacrosse is all about. And he's going to get some congratulations from Todd Curry. 9-2, 1:53 left, and Syracuse definitely in control.
And that goal by Tom Nelson now ties him with Ron Hill for 5th on the all-time list. Ron Hill, really one of the great Syracuse lacrosse players about 15 years ago.
Some of the Gate guys in there. That's Paul, 39. He was chasing the ball. Rutgers up with it.
Gary's on the field as well, number 38. Loose play now at midfield.
Stick took off.
And here comes Gary Gait. When he gets it going, there are few who are willing to get his way. Same can be said of his brother.
Well, they're both big and strong. They're about 6 foot, 185, 190 pounds. That's a good-sized lacrosse player.
Broad in the beam.
Good legs.
Owens is on as well. Keith Owens trying to work one-on-one. He beats his man. He's coming in. And his shot is deflected wide. Burns is there.
As we said, that man getting more playing time, Keith Owens, a junior out of Port Washington, the transfer from Nassau. Watch, I think the ball will hit the top of the cage, the pipe. Yep, Pipe City, up and over.
Syracuse leads at 9-2. A hesitation move being made there by, is that number 9 or number 8?
That's 9.
Egan or all?
Egan. I think it's
Jim
Egan.
Good move. Quick feet by Owens. Oh, and a nice feed in close. Intended in there for Mark Hotailing. Owens looking good.
Lots of new faces in there early as Hotailing and Owens. Schluter's been playing. They're getting a lot of people in.
The clock is on the field in the final minute of play of each half, each quarter. 46 seconds to go. Gilman off the redirect.
They don't want to make a big mistake here.
Morrow and Lewis. Intended for Hutton. There is the mistake.
Yep.
Barely taken away by Badwini. And a running start in somebody's deck.
You know, another thing, Dave, these pushes look relatively harmless, but if you've ever spent any time skidding across artificial surface, you know that not only the bumps and bruises, but you get a lot of scrapes and abrasions.
Here comes Riley. And there goes Riley in pursuit of a loose ball as it's knocked away. Rutgers keeps it. 10 seconds to go in this half. 10 seconds. They may get a shot, and then again they may not.
Burt went up over, kept the ball from going.
Rinaldi and Scaramuzzino renewing acquaintances there at the end of the first half of the score. Syracuse 9, Rutgers 2.
Attention, sight, insert, and struggle. Yes, you really can have a lot of fun using a screwdriver, not counting scratching the surface, damaging the head of the screw, backache, arm ache, and a blister.
This brand new British design dual driver, different from any other tool ever seen before, fits any drill, replaces screwdrivers, and combines all into one all-steel space-age unit.
For the very first time, insert screws easily and accurately because we have a clutch. It handles any size screw, large or small. A 4-inch screw can be driven home in 2.5 seconds. It will never damage the head of the screws. And here's the proof. Take a brass screw, which is very soft, drive it directly into hard wood. This you'd never attempt with a screwdriver. Just look at the clutch working. That's why you'll never damage the head of a screw. And that's why it's different from any other tool you've ever seen before. The secret is in the automatic clutch and torque control. The dual driver socket adapter. Use it with any of your socket sets and wrenches to loosen or tighten nuts and bolts in a jiffy. Even rusty ones in tight places. Working on the car, motorcycle, and any other appliance. We're so certain of its quality, we guarantee it for 2 years. Try it for 10 days, and if you're not absolutely satisfied, send it back and have your money refunded.
Plus free for the first 1,000 callers, multi-tool, nationally advertised for $9.99. Cuts glass, tiles, carpets, sharpens knives, scissors, tools, even strips wire.
This dual driver is not available anywhere else in the USA. Here's how to order.
To order the dual driver, call 1-800-241-2000. That's 1-800-241-2000. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Dual Driver, P.O. Box 10020, Stamford, Connecticut. That's Dual Driver, P.O. Box 10020, Stamford, Connecticut. COD orders acceptable. Order now.
Halftime in the Carrier Dome, Syracuse with a commanding 9-2 lead over Rutgers. The game was tied only once at 1-1. Peter Allen scored for Syracuse. Then John Hutton answered for the Scarlet Knights. Then Syracuse ran off the next 5 goals to open up a 6-1 lead. Rinaldi scored to make it 6-2, and Syracuse came back with the final 3 goals. Led in scoring by Todd Curry with 4 goals. 2 goals for John Zilberti, 1 apiece for Nelson, Gary Gaits, Peter Allen, and Kavanaugh has 1 assist. Again, the goal scoring Hutton and Rinaldi for Rutgers, and we'll be back right after this.
All right, the week's over. Yeah, and the weekend's just beginning.
Come on, we'll show you how a good time goes. We're going to a place where they talk Strohs. 'Cause a good time's better with a good time beer. And Strohs is spoken here.
Here's how the good times get better. Strohs and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs. A convenient package at a special value. Get them wherever you buy your beer.
Strohs is spoken here.
And welcome back to Super Sports coverage of Syracuse lacrosse. There's your halftime score. Syracuse leading Rutgers 9-2. Dave Cohn along with Dale Drivepulcher here in the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. We talked at the outset, Dale, about the fact that Rutgers' offensive firepower was depleted with the absence of Ed Trabolsi. He hasn't played. He probably won't play. Took his jersey off right after the introductions. But would it matter even if he was playing?
I really don't think so. Rutgers is not playing all that well, but I haven't seen them. I don't know whether they're playing up to their capabilities or not. I would venture to say that they've had some close games. This is the part of the season without Trabolsi. I think maybe they're not the same team. They're not playing very well today, actually.
Let's take a look at some of the outstanding individual efforts in the first half, most of them by Syracuse.
Jim Geyer, we've got him unofficially for 10 saves, and he's played very well. This was a ball that was taken, a shot by Gilman, the opposing goalie. He eventually saved it, got the ball back up. Syracuse couldn't cash in on, but they did a nice job. This is Curry's 4th goal. And we'll see Todd take that hard crank shot from outside, and Gilman a little bit out of position. He wasn't here. This is interesting. He and Zilberti pushing and shoving. You know, he was the goalie when for Yorktown when West Genesee played them back in high school, and they know each other from there. And I think they're, as you'd say, Dave, reacquainting themselves. Next, we're going to get a chance to see the Curry's assist, which ties him for 5th on the all-time scoring list. The goal was by Nelson, but the assist came from Curry, gives him a point. He's tied with Ron Hill, currently 5th on the scoring list for SU. So it's been kind of a SU first half, and the score indicates it at 9-2.
Syracuse taking more shots, coming up with more saves, ground balls all even, and the face-offs to Rutgers by 1. So that's the first half statistical story. Back with the second half face right after this.
Down through the years, the big games, the special games, always seem to live on in your memory. The excitement of baseball. It doesn't end when the game ends, and neither does your need to know. That's why so many baseball fans read the Sporting News, America's sports authority for over 100 years. The Sporting News gives you complete, in-depth coverage by more than 40 staff writers reporting right from the scene of the action. The teams, the stars, the strategies, the stats and standings, the pulse-pounding play-by-play excitement. Everything you want, you'll find right here in the Sporting News. It's great reading, and now you can get in on a great half-price offer. Grab a pencil quick, and here's a friend with all the details.
Call now and get 40 issues of the Sporting News for 4 easy payments of $5.45. You'll also get special preview issues at no extra cost. So call now toll-free, 1-800-221-2100. That's 1-800-221-2100.
Second half just underway. Syracuse leading at 9-2. Rhett Kavanaugh in control and sending it cross field. Todd Curry feeding it to Zolberti. He gets it in close to Tom Nelson. And just like that, 18 seconds into the third quarter, Syracuse ups the count to 10-2. And another point, another goal by Tom Nelson.
There's Nelson, takes a left-handed shot, goes up high, or right by Gilman.
Nelson with his second goal of the game. He's already passed Ron Hill for 5th on the all-time goal-scoring list.
Syracuse goal by number 5.
I think at halftime we had it down incorrectly. I had it down incorrectly, but Tom Nelson shows why he is 5th on that scoring list, as Syracuse is going to come up with a face-off by virtue of a penalty, and Donahue picks up the ball.
Balanced scoring all season, the trademark of Syracuse. Todd Curry with 4 today. And it's Gordy Mapes going down to the turf, coming off, spinning. Now it's Rhett Kavanaugh changing direction. Having it checked away. He may get back to play it. He does. Trying to lose Pat Dawson. Feeding Curry. Lost the handle on it. He's back in pursuit, and a man steps off sides. Jim McNamara stepped over.
There's no doubt about it. He sprinted offside. He thought perhaps there was another midfielder somewhere. At any rate, the ball will go to Rutgers. While number 8, Rinaldi, has to get his helmet fixed.
Rutgers with only 2 goals in the game. Rinaldi has 1 of them. And Hutton has the other. And on the far sideline, it's going to go back to the Orange men.
Rutgers has been a little bit sloppy, and I think that Travolsi would add, but I think, as we said, this man has got to feel that his team is not playing up to the potential, at least today. They have had some close games with some top 10 teams. They have played some teams, played a team out in California, with the Whittier College, I think, but they have not done well against the teams that are headed to the playoffs. So this will, I think, seal their fate unless they can pull out, well, not a miracle, but they'd have to do a lot more offensively and play a lot better at the midfield than they have been.
Well, they're not winning, and they're not looking good either. And Syracuse looking to pour it on. That time, though, a misguided pass from number 8, Neil Alt. So there are wholesale substitutions being made. We're very early in the third quarter, and Syracuse leading at 10-2. Jim Gilman played well for Rutgers.
He has played well. So often when the goalie gives up, or the team actually gives up the goals, the goalie just happens to be the last guy standing in that 36 square feet.
They just cheaped that one out to midfield. They're lucky to come away with it. Herger down to Fish. He had a man in front. DeSico, his feet is intercepted by McNamara. And now Scaramuzino. Oh, nice job to elude the check. Up to midfield. Batwini with Nelson on the right wing. Instead he goes the other wing to Zolberti. They walk it in close, and it's picked out of midair by Morrow.
In and out, I believe.
Morrow ran through the crease and came out.
Can't do it with the ball.
In his defense, it was a deflected ball in midair.
Right.
He didn't expect to have the ball after coming through the crease.
Well, whenever you're in doubt, better to control the ball and give them another opportunity, but you'll be able to get set up in your defense.
Nelson to Allen. Now Rossi against Dawson. Matt Nelson. Tom Nelson. His brother Tim is a Syracuse assistant. And the holder of the all-time collegiate scoring record in Division I lacrosse. But not the all-time point record at Syracuse. Stop and go by Neil Alt. Doesn't exactly shake free of his man. Now
Nice
he spins
move.
free, gets sandwiched, and has it taken away. Lewis. Way upfield, and he's got a man there. John Hayden.
They're just talking about who's going to pick him up. Jim Burt came in and told McNamara to pick him up. A little bit of confusion. 27 open
They
the crease.
feed the crease. Hutton does a good job. Syracuse forgot all about him. He came in from the blind side, and he did a great job. John Hutton gets his second goal of the game. And Rutgers has one goal now in each quarter.
You could see Hutton coming in. Nobody saw him. They had been talking, as I had mentioned previous to that, about who was going to get whom, and everybody forgot about number 27. And that's the kind of thing that, of course, you want to work on. But Hutton did this perfect thing, ran to the cage, got the ball, and put it by Jim Gyrie. Gyrie, not much of a chance to come up with a save on that.
Syracuse with a record of 5-3 coming in. Rutgers at 7-3. Strength of schedule, though, quite a difference.
Syracuse, of course, hoping to get that home field advantage in the playoffs.
New faceoff man now for Rutgers, Rich Burton. And it's Rhett Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh has played very well. He controls a lot of the tempo of the game by coming up with ground balls. He's played very well.
Michael Donnell as Paul Gait comes on. Rutgers picked him up nicely. In the middle, it's Kavanaugh. Now Gait gets the step. He gets the feed.
Oh.
Here he comes. There's the goal. Well, we had our eyes on Paul Gait every step of the way. Rutgers did. Then they took their eyes off of him, and they spotted him, and it's in the nets, just like that.
I think you'd have to give an assist to Kavanaugh, and you don't see Kavanaugh there, but he made the pass that allowed Gait to take that nice left-handed shot. I don't know if he dodged anybody. Even if it's not an official assist, he certainly should get a handshake from Mr. Gait, because he really, Kavanaugh did a fine job of getting the ball up and finding the open man.
Paul Gait gets his first goal of the game. He and Gary continue their assault on opposing goaltenders. Nearly 100% shooting accuracy the last two games.
That's pretty good. We'll look at the face-off stats quickly. Syracuse now 9-7 in the lead in face-offs, but
Greg Burns, making Bill Durgill on the face that time against Burton. And Durgill shovels it out.
Really gets it up high. You want to get it down in that offensive end. You hope somebody can come up with it, but
Riley sends back to Morrow. Gilman's out of the cage, and Morrow, whom we commented upon earlier, runs very well. Brad Fish with some nifty moves. He fed it inside. It's intercepted. And Gyrie gets it out of there in a hurry. Fast break Syracuse. Todd Curry running by Hollingsworth. Todd Curry going by Fish. Feeds it in close. What a job. Gordy Bates on the receiving end from Todd Curry. And Curry's having himself quite a day.
he sure is. He just made that whole play by getting the assist. There's a left-handed pass. Look, Gary had to get that in, and then, of course, Mapes made a nice fake after he got the ball, and they poured on Gilman and company. 12-3, 10:59 left. Third quarter.
Gordy Mapes with the goal. Mapes' first goal of the afternoon and his first point of the game. Durgill in there battling against Fusilli. Comes out to Riley. Quickly they work it down. Weak side. DeSico missing.
Nice look by Rutgers. Hollingsworth. Nice pass. But it wasn't right on the button. But they do get possession. There's DeSico. Now there's Jimmy Gyrie. And you'll see what he sees out there is the man behind number 7 for Rutgers. That's Walsh.
Always interesting to watch from this angle and see how the play forms. Gyrie with a save. And look how they covered up on the shooter. Dan Pratt threw the punch. It didn't land. Gyrie is consoling his teammate.
See if we can see what happens. Now they got McNamara picked off, so they had to slide down. There's the hit. And Pratt just kind of lays on him.
No penalty.
No, he's going to say no penalty. Referee Nate Foote down there on top of it talked to him and said, hey, knock it off. Give you a break this time.
Walsh does does a good job against Stadelmeyer, but he does a fine job in staying with him. And the shot is wide by Fish. Kyrie hot puts it to the corner. Rutgers keeps it.
Talk about consistency. We got some numbers on Mapes. He scored 1 point or more in 9 consecutive games, and he's got goals in 8 of 9 games. So Mapes coming along, a man you can't ignore in the Syracuse offense.
Right over the top of the cage, over the top of everybody, and into the penalty box area.
Syracuse using a lot of different people. Rossi, 21, brings it in.
Outside, it's Rossi again. 10 minutes to go, third quarter. John Zilberti. Back to Gordy Mapes. Mapes against Riley. Solidly built defenseman, likes to use the body.
Poke check.
Used the head that time. Mapes. Oh! How he got that shot away is hard to understand, but he did. And now we'll get the penalty against Rutgers.
Okay, 2 technical penalties on the same whistle, so they'll be wiped out as the 2 technical fouls will cancel each other out. There's the hold. And you saw the kind of the neck whip, and then apparently, well, we'll see what happens if they. Apparently, Mapes was in the crease, so we'll see as Mr. Muncy, they talk it over.
Does the severity of one penalty outweigh the other?
Well, if it was a personal foul, it would be you couldn't wipe it out. If you have 2 technicals, you can. And there was what they were talking about is who had possession when the next penalty was called, and if there was no possession or they couldn't determine possession, the fair thing to do is to face it off. Kind of like the United Nations, kind of work things out. This is always interesting because they face off in a different part of the field. They get a big ring around them. It's like getting your wagon train attacked, and everybody's on the outside running around looking for the ball. 10 yards. You can hear him say, give him 10 yards, give him 10
It's
yards.
going to be Pat Donahue and Pat Dawson.
And since there's no clearly defined lines, you just have to tell them, stay back, get back 10 yards. Push. Holding on the sticker, withholding the ball from play.
Burt, Bedwini, Scaramuzzino come on for Syracuse. Vila, Wolfing.
See if we can see what happened there. Yeah, that was withholding the ball from play.
Fusilli's on as well. In the middle, it's Wolfing. And on the sidelines, it's Wolfing going down. So the game now being played at a staccato pace as the whistles prevent either team from getting any momentum.
We have not seen a real fast break game. Syracuse's Walmart and Cornell seem to be, both ends of the field up and down. A lot of scoring, but it was kind of evenly distributed. Syracuse beating Hobart 20-15, and 35 goals scored in a lacrosse game. You can imagine the pace that was played. We've had 15 scored here, but the pace has been somewhat different.
By the way, Rutgers will be the host school for the NCAA Final Four and Championship, with the Final Four being played on Saturday, May 23rd, and the championship game on Monday, May the 25th. Berger. Mishandle there by DeSico. He steps by the defender, and Gyrie has the save. Fish had the rebound. DeSico and friends are there. It's Fish coming away with it. Back he goes to DeSico. Pratt comes over. In close, and Gyrie saves it against Fish. And plucked out of the air by Rossi. Rinaldi Slapping away from behind. Giving it up. Misplaying it his mates. Morrow is over there. Morrow kicks it. And a push is called. Syracuse keeps it. Curry and Donahue come on, along with Kavanaugh.
Got a chance to talk to Coach Simmons, and before the game, we'll see one of the reasons why he likes what he's been seeing in the cage is Gyrie seemed to be very confident and has been the last couple of games, but he said that he's not sleeping as well as he did last year.
Did you see Gyrie doing his own replay there for the benefit of the bench on that last save?
But they do that a lot. A lot of times goalies, they're a little different breed anyway, but they like to see exactly where the ball was, and they may replay it in their mind. Nice steal by Rutgers.
Dawson took it away from Kavanaugh. Dawson taking it in, giving it up to Fish. Over the head of DeSico and out of bounds.
Good look by number 4, but Fish's pass a little bit high. You know, and as we look along the sidelines, and we'll probably see him before the game is over again, but assistant coach John Desko on the sidelines, very demonstrative. And he talks a lot to the players on the field. He's been a coach here for a number of years, played here. All his brothers played here.
8 minutes to go, third quarter. I assume we will see Joey Ryan a little bit later on in this game, being as one-sided as it is right now. Gyrie and McNamara. And they get it across now to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh, a good change of direction on Dawson. He does that so well. But his pass intended for Peter Allen.
Well, Dawson really was responsible for that being a poor pass, Dave, because you said that you're absolutely right. Kavanaugh's been excellent on that. But what Dawson did is he got the stick up and made him change where he was going to throw the ball and went wide. So credit Dawson with a nice play for Rutgers as the game kind of settles down here with 7:45 left. Lots of ground balls and awry passes.
7:45 in the third quarter. Beeler.
Right.
Beeler against Nelson. Heavy knee brace for him. And he loses it.
Good hustle. Syracuse forced that ball out of bounds. Burt, 33, forced him to make the bad play. Oh, apparently we're going to have a... Oh, I thought there might be a face-off.
Doug Beeler, by the way, is out of DeWitt as well.
Yeah.
Gary Gaits with a good look to a defenseman, O'Donnell. He's going to shoot. He scores. The defenseman, Mike O'Donnell, scores.
O'Donnell got the jump. He kind of lulled him to sleep. Defenseman with a big stick. They don't usually make that break downfield. Watch him break. Got his stick. Actually, the passes before this, and there's the whip. And that big stick will give you a nice shot. And Mike O'Donnell, a nice shot.
That is the 5th goal of his career and the first this season. So Mike O'Donnell, another Yorktown player, gets the goal.
Lots of Yorktown people. You said they had a real battle with West Genesee. They've had a battle with every team from Section 3, it seems.
Down on the ground, pretty good move there to get the ball away. Was that Durgill? Yes. Gary Gaits on the sideline. Riley. Gilman's out of the cage. Risky pass to the far side. In the middle now, it's Lewis.
Oh, they're really putting the pressure on.
And Durgill drops him.
So the big face-off man will take a seat. See if we can pick up. Yep, there was the push. Left-handed.
Syracuse leading it 13-3. We're under 7 minutes to go in this third quarter. New Rutgers player in the game there, Steve Heumann, number 25. Heuman's out of Vestal, New York. About an hour south of Syracuse, a suburb of Binghamton. Rinaldi went up high, and Gyrie gathered it in. Push shot, Steve Scaramuzzino, number 19. As Rinaldi picks himself off the deck.
Rinaldi did a nice job there. He had a shot. It went wide. Watch what he does, though. He comes back, after they got the rebound to see if he couldn't get another shot off. And he gets clobbered, but he really did a nice thing there, which is to keep your head up, and after you make the shot, go back and get in position to get another one.
Herger. M.G. Hollingsworth. Stadelmeyer. All over him.
Slash. Flag down.
DeSico. Now the call.
Oh. 32, Stouffer. Will sit down. Mark Stouffer, a sophomore out of JD. James Underwood.
30 seconds holding number 32, Mark Stouffer.
So they will be down for only 30. I thought they might have called a slash on it.
Six minutes remaining, third quarter. Rutgers with 1 goal in each quarter. Syracuse leads at 13-3. Drost is number 15. Herger is 23. DeSico is 20. Fish is number 4. Hutton is 27. He gets it, he scores. Once again, he's snuck in. And he has his 3rd goal of the game. John Hutton, 6'1" senior out of Stony Point, New York.
This is their 2nd man-up goal. There's the cut by number 27, and just very hard to stop that as he cut across with a nice pass.
So the cross goal by Rutgers, number 27, John.
That gives them 4 now.
Goal by Hutton, number 27.
Another face.
Hutton now with 10 goals on the year, his 3rd of the game.
Cisco, number 20, DeSico, the goal number 27.
DeSico got the assist. Syracuse by 9. Here comes Paul Gaits. Gives it up. Gets it back. Whoa. Saved as he shot it high at Gilman. Upfield they go to Brad Fish. Gary Gaits. And Durgel runs by him. And Gary wants to check it away, and he does. But it's taken back.
Good defense. Timeout.
Fusilli. Rutgers wants a timeout. They'll get it with 5 minutes, 12 seconds remaining. Third quarter. We'll be right back. Dave Cohen and Dale Drypulcher with you on Super Sports. Next to last home game of the regular season. Syracuse wrapping up the home season against the University of Pennsylvania Quakers on May the 2nd. (13-4) is the score. We've got 5 minutes and 12 seconds to play, third quarter. Chris Wolfing getting it down low to DeSico, who's had a number of scoring opportunities in the game. And here he is again. Only a freshman, Andy DeSico. Fusilli.
Well, they doubled him.
Can't even find a man to give it to, not yet at least. Now it's Wolfing. Syracuse man-to-man.
They're really crowding up the crease and making the cuts and moves.
M.G. Hollingsworth against Stouffer.
You can hear the talk going on by Jim Geyrie as he tells the defenseman where the ball is.
And it's in the crease.
That was legal hit, yeah.
So is the Rutgers man who paid the price for trying to get in close.
It was a nice hit, but Dweeney, 22, put him down. Hollingsworth. There's the slide. There's the jump. It wasn't Bedwini. Don't know who it was. Yes, it was. Excuse me. It was Bedwini. So Hollingsworth in the crease. Syracuse ball, 4:12. Third quarter. One of the things I mentioned about Geyrie is that I think he is as good as any goalie they've had, making the pass and getting out. And he shows right there the nice pass as he gets up to Curry.
And Todd Curry with 4 goals gives it up to Gary Gait. Gait faking, going by Dawson. That's almost automatic. You give him a step on the field, and you're just not going to stop him or brother Paul. Gary Gait scores again.
Well, we said they're used to Canadian box. That's where they are from, British Columbia. 2,000 miles from Syracuse, but I guess if you give him a stick and you let him get a step, as you said, Dave, it's second nature as he really ripped it home. 14-4 now, and Gates second, I believe.
That is correct. His second of the game. Brother Paul has 1, and I think they're 3 for 3 again. They were 4 for 4 last week.
I think his brothers are left-handed. That was right-handed.
14-4. Obviously, the face-offs haven't meant as much in this game. Burton and Durgel
kick the stick.
John Costello, number 2, has come on. Sophomore out of Yorktown.
Yeah, that is an excellent Lacrosse high school. For years, they played, it seemed, either Henniger or West Genesee. And then they eventually won the states by themselves. And a lot of people on that team and their previous teams are playing for colleges.
Down to a knee and popping up. Giusilli, now Hollingsworth. Misplay by DeSico. Stoper tried to play the man and let the ball take its natural course. It did. And the Orangemen get it back. Kavanaugh, Curry, and Donahue come up.
You know, ground balls remarkably even. We've got them unofficially 22 for Rutgers and 19 for Syracuse. But obviously that's one of those stats that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at the score. Syracuse up by 10 goals.
Geyrie trying to spot a man on the sideline. Gate. This is where he likes to come in. Now let's see if anybody can stop him.
Offside. Yeah. The only thing that'll stop one that fast is an offside penalty on the offensive team.
That it did. 3 minutes, 3 seconds to play. Third quarter, 14-4.
There's Gary Gait. He looked like he was ready to take the left-handed shot.
And our next game here on Super Sports. Check your local listings for Syracuse and Penn. In the midfield area, it's Herder. Making Hutton now. Hutton's got 3 goals in the game. Big crowd in front of the cage. Quick stick attempt. No good by Hutton. Stadelmeyer. Eric Holbrook in the game, number 42. Curry comes over. Zilberti feeds it in close.
Syracuse really got the ball upfield quickly, pushed it up, took the shot, but Rutgers closest to it. And there are John Zilberti, who has been playing well of late.
We'll see if Rutgers can get it upfield, and we'll give you this angle as you watch the play forming.
This is from behind Jim Geyrie.
Pretty good run by Rinaldi.
Flag
Marker's down. Now the official wipes it off. Hutton way up top. Matt Walsh. See how the goalie reacts to wherever the ball is on the field. There's the shot there, and a great chance to see Gyrey get the leg and the stick in the vicinity and make the save.
That was an excellent shot. The Rutgers will retain possession, but just a really nice shot. And you see there's the head-on shot as Gyrey got the stick on it. And maybe we can show you the one from behind again, or maybe another one, because you really get an appreciation of what it's like. There's the angle.
Sico working. Gyrey taking away his angle. Minute 36 to go.
But good. They really, I think you really gain a lot more of appreciation seeing the strategy and what Jim Gyrey has to face.
Pretty good spin by Walsh. He had Fish coming in. Now the battle is on at midfield. Nelson and Morrow. They put it in the stick of Bianchi. They get Burton. Burton does a good job of keeping his balance. Giving it up to Beeler. Now a late flag is thrown.
He ran out of the box. Slash will give Rutgers their 8th man-up opportunity. They've scored on 2. There's Coach Hayes, Coach Simmons.
Syracuse penalty on number 19, Steve Garavazino. 1 minute slashing. Syracuse penalty, 1 minute slashing.
1 minute, 9 seconds to play in this third quarter, and a 14-4 game. Fish goes to Hutton. Hutton to Drost. Back to Hutton. Now it's Herger. Fish behind. Out in front.
Ball was on the outside of the net.
Rinaldi feeding. Intercepted. Regained by Drost. On the ground, Syracuse tries to take it away. O'Donnell has some momentum, and Gyrey's out of the cage. Gyrey. Good feed to Stouffer.
Good talk. Stouffer told him where he was. They'll take their time.
In the middle of Burt and O'Donnell. We're down to 15 seconds in this third quarter. Todd Curry comes on. Gets the feed with 5 seconds. He's going to crank and fire. Nearly scooped up in front by Zoberti. And that is the end of the third quarter with the score Syracuse 14, Rutgers 4.
Fire brewing. It's more than a way to make Stroh's and Stroh Light. It's a family tradition, passed down from one generation to another for over 200 years. It's what guarantees that smooth, consistent taste for generations to come.
A good time's better with a good time beer. Stroh's is smoking here. Stroh's is smoking here.
Brooks Robinson here for All-Star Chevrolet. Convenient from anywhere by the Beltway, Exit 10, Harbor Tunnel, or Key Bridge. At All-Star Chevrolet, they've got a Chevy truck and van clearance going on right now with cash rebates and special financing. You need just $99 down and around $131 a month. Now at All-Star Chevrolet, 5820 Washington Boulevard. Tell them Brooks sent you.
We're back as we get set for the beginning of the fourth quarter.
That's how the third quarter ended.
Long shot taken by Todd Curry. 14-4 as we get a quarter number 4. Joey Ryan will be in the nets now for Syracuse.
Procedure against Rutgers will cost them possession. Well, these are really difficult to interpret because it really doesn't show. Face-offs even, clears even, shots fairly even, saves. Syracuse Gyrey has done a great job in the nets. I think his counterpart Joey Ryan's in there. I shouldn't say his counterpart, his teammate's in there now, but he played very well while he was in.
And here's Gordy Mapes. The flag is down. He gives it up to Zoberti. Oh, what a shot taken by Todd Curry. Tried the behind the neck shot from way out front.
Well, they figured they had a screen there. They had about 45 guys in front of the crease. He figured he could get it off and maybe sneak it by, but they will be man up. Well, watch. That's the end of the shot, but Curry took it. Take our word for it. It was behind his head.
It was abuse.
Riley. 30 seconds holding.
Riley gets called.
Here's
Now
the
we'll
shot.
look at it.
Yeah, there it was. Nice job, guys.
And a lot of mustard on that one. Curry stays out there. Syracuse is man up.
Oh, nice feed. Gilman out.
Gilman in the middle of 5 white shirts. Gives it off to Lewis. He'll get it back. No, they'll go to the far side. And now they will get it across. Rutgers outmanned and outplayed as Syracuse comes back up. A lot of new names and faces in the game. Number 24, David Patane is in. Shot by Gaits.
Patane listed as a defenseman, freshman out of West Genesee. There's an interesting article in the paper this morning about recruiting, and you alluded to it, Dave, the fact that Syracuse having to go down now and try to recruit the Baltimore area, and of course the Baltimore and Southern teams coming up here and recruiting Syracuse. It's like trading off. Nice job defensively by Rutgers. That's Riley, I think.
And Roy Simmons remarking that the tough thing about getting the Baltimore area players to go away is that they want to go even further south.
Yeah.
But he does say he has recruited one goalie from down the Baltimore area who likes to ski, so he'll be coming up to Syracuse. Joey Ryan.
He got slashed.
And Brad Fish got into it, or Rinaldi and Fish. Former high school adversaries.
I think Fish slashed him. The ball was down there. He turned. That was a legal hit by O'Donnell. What happened after that was that Ryan came up with the ball, and then Fish hit him with the stick.
4:82.
Curry.
Final score.
Rossi.
Cornell 13, Princeton 2.
Working the ball around.
In a man-up situation, it's Curry down in front. Good fake. We went faked high, went low, and a beautiful job by the goalie. Lewis came in there and threw a shoulder in.
Yeah.
Number 35.
Cordy Mapes was pushed in illegally, so that will cost Syracuse possession. When that ball is down, you will see a lot of pushing and shoving going on in the crease. And Gilman, who's gone the whole way for Rutgers, while Syracuse has gone with Ryan, the backup goalie, who actually perhaps was third team before Matt Palom got hurt. We'll see what happens in the playoffs if Matt Palom makes it back. Right now, they've gotten good goaltending out of Guyrie as Rutgers brings the ball back in.
And it's Rinaldi. Played a long game. Intercepted by Patane. Sent back upfield to Curry.
Off. Oh, timeout.
Timeout taken by Syracuse. 12 minutes and 48 seconds to go, and a timeout. We'll step away for these messages and return.
The crack of the bat. The roar of the crowd. The sound of spring on Home Team Sports. America's favorite pastime shifts into high gear in the month of May as the Boys of Baltimore baseball showcase our May programming lineup. Catch exciting diamond duels as the O's take on the best of the West when the Kansas City Royals, the Minnesota Twins, the Oakland A's, and the American League West champion, the California Angels, all invade Memorial Stadium. Check out college baseball with action from the Big East and Southwest Conference postseason tournament. Feel the excitement of the MISL when the Blast kick their way through the playoffs. Plus, see coverage of the 1987 Preakness Stakes, college field and track, college lacrosse, and professional boxing. All happening live and exclusively on Home Team Sports.
Against the backdrop of the Carrier Dome roof, the score in this game, and that's how much time we have remaining. Syracuse by 10, and under 13 minutes is Zoberti. Rifles a shot high over the head of Gilman, and he ups the lead now to the same number that he wears on his uniform, 11, 15-4. John Zoberti gets the goal.
Z, the man who started the season with an injury to his arm, actually had some sort of a blood infection, and they said he did not get in the kind of shape early in the season that he would have liked to have been in. He's coming along strong now.
Third goal of the game by John Zoberti. Pretty much name your score at this point. 12:40 to go and a 15-4 Syracuse lead. Gary Gaits outrunning people. Nice feed, and Nelson kind of nonchalant of that shot. Great save made by Gilman. Lewis is out of the cage.
Gilman out too, but you're right. Gilman made a really nice save. Ball on the left wing. As Lewis, he gets up to Gilman.
And now Gilman all the way to midfield, stops and heads back toward the cage. Beeler. Wolfing. Number 2 racing on again. That's John Costello. One-on-one, DeSico. And now Matt Walsh.
Ryan got hurt.
Ryan is hurt. He's down on a knee in the goal. He's hurt his right leg. And we may see Gary back in.
Boy, he grabbed his leg immediately, and the officials didn't see him at first. As soon as they saw that he was really hurt, he could not move. And they stopped the game immediately, and Joe Ryan down.
And you hate to speculate at this point on the nature of the injury, but right now, Syracuse is in trouble in terms of depleted goaltending ranks.
Let's see what happens. There's the move. DeSico comes in and takes a shot, and he's pushed in by O'Donnell. Ooh.
His own man got him, I think. McNamara coming across.
And watch what he does when he tries to get up. He's still on at adrenaline, I think, and then all of a sudden you see him bring that right leg up. And he is in a lot of pain.
Tim Neal, the trainer with the blue windbreaker on, is going to help man of equal stature, Joey Ryan, leave the field along with an assistant trainer. So right now, Jim Gyrey is back in the nets.
Player being assisted off.
Roy Simmons, a very concerned Roy Simmons, because
Times here have convinced a lot of us to stay close to home for our summer vacations. If what's in the reservation books actually materializes, it could be a great summer.
Isn't that you in the background in the rubber dragon in that shot?
They were trying to harpoon me there. That's what they're trying to do.
Mike Nolan is back with us. The Yankee bats are hot.
Boy, they are. They used the long ball today. They sweep the Angels. George Steinbrenner's got to be happy because the Yanks are in first place and maintain that 3-game lead over Toronto.
Here at Mark Chevrolet, we bring you all the money-saving incentive programs sponsored by the factory. But we do a lot more. Our goal is to price every Chevrolet from $300 to $800 less than any other dealer for the same exact model. And our selection is huge so you can find what you want. Instead of a used car, consider a new 87 Import Sprint for as little as $62.25. And our low-rate financing means payments below that of most used cars, even for first-time buyers. At the Mark of Excellence, Mark Chevrolet, Denver. Also shop Mark Toyota, Aurora.
Why can't you help me? No, I just talked to them.
In these days of mix-and-match business communications, it's tough to get anybody to answer up when things go wrong.
I did. They said to call you.
That's why Mountain Bell is taking charge, coordinating a team of companies to handle your system start to finish. No excuses, no delays.
Isn't there somebody who can help me?
No more runaround. Mountain Bell. Answers.
I'll never forget the first time Tide failed me. It was dirty motor oil on Ralph's good shirt. Never did come out. And I washed it 3 times. I had to make a fresh start.
Introducing the new Fresh Start. On dirty motor oil stains like these, it can do in just 1 wash what Tide can't do in 3. So be a Tide dropout. Make a fresh start.
My whole wash got cleaner for it.
At KC Fine Furniture, our designers can do magical things. Using your ideas and your budget to brighten every room, our designers are carefully trained to work with you to find those special things that make the beautiful difference. From a single fabric to an entire room, they're here to help you. And best of all, it doesn't cost a penny more. So come to KC Fine Furniture, and we'll help you bring home the good life for less.
I think the Lakers are going to sweep the finals. I don't care who's in it.
Well, let me write that right down here. It's approximately 10:30. I think you're right, though.
What do you think? What do you think, Mike?
But the opposition may win one. They're just unbelievable, I tell you. Lakers had a big second quarter, went on to win in a blowout from Seattle, 133-102, and complete a four-game sweep of the Sonics. Now, the Lakers led by 11 after 1. Seattle makes a run here. Tom Chambers had 20. Drives around Worthy is 43-34 L.A. Xavier McDaniel with 18, well below what he's been hitting. Hits from the baseline. It was 46-38 L.A. Mo Lucas running jumper here. They got within 6, then the Lakers just reeled off a 22-5 run. And look at this move by Magic. That's worth looking at again. Look at this, changing hands underneath as only Magic can do it. Neat move there. James Worthy had 26, 122 points in the 4 games. He was fouled and made it 61-43. Worthy again on the break. Worthy to Scott to Cooper, back to Worthy. Jam 63-43. Byron Scott a three-pointer 68-45. They got no closer than 17 in the second half. Seattle 133-102. Bernie Bickerstaff looks on, did a great job. Not enough though, and Magic Johnson summed it all up pretty well.
We got out early in the Gaits and made them play our game and made them play from behind. And it's hard when you're down 3-0 already and they trailed the whole game, and we weren't going to let them catch us.
And there is the final. Now the Lakers can rest and see who wins that Pistons and Celtics series. They play in Boston tomorrow night.